Hardly Sound is brought to you by Sabrina Q. Mikan, dedicated to highlighting the life stories of musicians and artists who enrich the culture of Austin, Texas. Real Ale Brewing Company. Real Ale incorporates 100% malted grain, domestic and imported hops, and crystal clear water to create unique recipes. Find Real Ale all over Texas at your favorite bars, restaurants, and stores. Real Ale Brewing Company. Handcrafted ales from the Texas Hill Country. Kong Screen Printing. Kong Screen Printing specializes in high-quality art design, screen-printed apparel, and paper prints for bands, businesses, nonprofit organizations, schools, and sports leagues. Kong Screen Printing. Information at kongscreenprinting.com. A generous donation from Brad and Maggie Markham. And the Hardly Sound Alliance.
There's an alternate universe where I never met a sarcastic, acerbic, opinionated man named Daniel Blanchard. It's a bleak place.
If I see someone who's doing something and who's really passionate about it, you know, putting all the work in they need to, then there's no reason they shouldn't meet other people like that, you know. I try to surround myself with talented people so I can leech off their creativity.
Without Dan, I never would have met Wiretree. Without Wiretree, I never would have gotten into photographing bands. Without photographing bands, I never would have gotten into documentary filmmaking, and on and on and on. I'm not saying the guy deserves a co-creator credit on Hardly Sound or anything, but I am saying that if the guy ever needs someone to buy him a taco, I'll buy him a taco without hesitation. Sometimes I think we're on parallel paths. We both moved to Austin to pursue our creative endeavors, and we've both found a way to make it work.
I've done more here in like 2 years than I did from like birth to 22. You know, on top of being a good band, Wiretree was just such a godsend to just get me, you know, back on the right path. Like I feel like I'm actually doing what I want to be doing here, and it's wonderful. And you know, that's what I love about Austin. And I probably won't leave unless someone, you know, like, takes one of my shoes and mails it to another state and I have to go get it.
Mostly, though, I'm just happy I get to see Dan play the drums. He isn't performing exactly. He isn't becoming someone he's not. This is a part of him, I'm convinced, and it only really comes out when he's behind the drum set.
Yeah, I think it's a release, you know, because I am pretty reserved normally. And it's my moment to show people that I'm not just some like totally baked, you know, just like couch potato, which neither of those things are true, but I feel like that's the impression I give a lot. So I feel like I have a lot to prove to people when I get on stage.
I feel lucky that I get to see that. There's an alternate universe where Dan never learns to drum. I imagine that one's pretty bleak, too.
Well, I used to be in a marching band, and out of school I made a new plan.
Kevin wrote and recorded marching band on his own. This is how he works best, or at the very least it's how he works most comfortably.
Kind of fell back into the idea that I just needed to be on my own recording stuff.
I suspect that bringing other people into Wiretree was done strictly out of necessity.
You know, so it started out as a solo project. I taught Rachel how to play bass early on. I was asking if she played any instruments. She said no, and I was like, you should pick up an instrument.
If he was able to play all the instruments himself simultaneously, I wonder if he would have ever sought out other band members. I don't say this with any malice, since I basically operate the same way. There's something in us that makes it difficult to create something when someone else is in the room. I think that for people like us, art affords us the opportunity to say what we really want to say in the exact way we want to say it. It reminds me of something that MC Eats told me last year, how he sometimes finds it easier to say things in a song than face to face.
Rachel and I are having a baby in November. There's a sort of a vibe that it's like trying to give someone advice on how to grow up and stuff like that. When you listen to Get Up, it's kind of giving some advice to the child, I know you'll find a way, look through those clouds of gray kind of thing. It's not exactly deep or anything, but it's just basic ideas of, everything's gonna get better if you just, move ahead. I kind of picture the kid, picking up some instruments here and there, banging on them and whatever it is, but little do I know he's gonna be a jock or something, and he's gonna be wanting to watch football games and want me to throw balls around and stuff. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a new adventure.
Our first date was it was okay. We went to see Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which was interesting first choice, so it was fun. And then the second date wasn't even really a planned date. It was just a haphazard. We just happened to both be down at Fido's at the same time. And the rest is history. It was like the best second date because it wasn't even planned, and we had, a couple beers under us, so that, it was a little less, daunting. And yeah, we really hit it off after that. It was fun.
Rachel is a crucial part of the band. Without her, I'm fairly certain Kevin would be just fine sitting in his room, writing and recording songs without ever sharing them. It's so easy to get lost in the process of making something that it often requires an entirely different person to spread the word.
I'm a go-getter kind of person when it comes down to it. Like if I, set my mind to something, I like to execute things. So in terms of that, I think I've propelled the band in a lot of ways, as far as like the little tour that we did two, 3 years ago to Spain. And I found the people, and I, found the bands that we could play with. And I think that's where I kind of shine. When we went to China, and that was in end of April, early May, I was already 2 months pregnant. And I knew it, but I didn't let Kevin know or the band know, because I didn't want anything to screw the trip up, It's a big trip for us. So I kept it quiet until we got back. It was tough. It was tough keeping that a secret, because I didn't even let my mom know. I mean, literally no one knew, because I was thinking, Kevin's got to be the first person I tell. We're only 4.5 weeks away. And so it could happen any time, really, is what they say. So we got to be kind of prepared for that. And yeah, there is something a little daunting about the unknown. But I mean, we're in an age of modern medicine too, and I'm going to try and go as natural as we can. But if it comes down to it, and hey, we need the epidural or what have you, or oh, we need an emergency C-section, I trust the docs, and so we're in good hands.
I don't know what to call it. Kevin's got his own sound. I don't know what power pop means. People call it power pop. I don't know what that is.
One of the simple reasons Wiretree is one of Austin's best bands is that everyone adds something. I suspect a Wiretree song would feel incomplete without Josh's contribution. Josh adds texture and color, not just to the music, but to the band. If the rest of the band falls on the more reserved end of the spectrum, Josh is on the opposite end. He's a talker, and he loves metaphors.
End of the day, it's not my baby. I can babysit sometimes. There was the head cook, and he was like, I need a sous chef for this one. They paint the walls, they put up the foundation or put up the wood. Not everybody can cook, and not everybody can be on the grill, not everybody can be on the fry. It's like everybody has to do their part. Does the turtle put its head back in the shell, or does the turtle like get big? They roof the house, but end of the day, somebody designed it, and then someone has to build it. One person can't just build the house, you know?
I'm not making fun either, because they're all good metaphors. Josh is brilliant at explaining the relationships everyone has within Wiretree. If the rest of the band is the body of a trumpet, then Josh is the mouthpiece. Oh man, it's contagious. The sense I get from Josh is that he's happy to be the guy who adds that little extra something, that extra... what the heck. Josh, give me one more.
You know, I come in and just add my little icing, and that's all it is. It's really good tasting icing, but it's not the cake or anything. And I don't have the toughest job in the band. Kevin's up there singing, playing guitar, doing it. He's up in front. Like, you know, everybody's got his eyes on him, and I like being to the side and just dancing and playing my little chords.
I don't think Josh knows how much soul he brings to Wiretree. The fact is, his solos on the latest album are his strongest yet. I think what we're hearing is the assurance and confidence of someone who spent years finding their voice, only to be pleasantly surprised to find that they have something to say.
Everyone has limits. I have limits. I'm not a good guitar player. I have a great sound. Like, I can play, my D chord is an awesome sounding D chord, but that's really all I got.
Hanging out with Wiretree felt good. It just felt good. Being around them reminded me of being around a family. They have the same rhythms, the same energy.
It is, it's hard. It's like being in a band is kind of like being in a little family, because you do, especially when you're doing a little tour, you're, around each other 24/7.
We're kind of a family. Josh and I will both tell you that, like, Kevin and Rachel are like our surrogate parents here.
And it reminded me how grateful I am to be part of a community filled with so many people just looking to help each other out. People who are there for you when you need them. That's fortunate, because it can get scary in the ICU.
Okay, so this is To the Moon.
Like how everything in this song just sort of like, the entire thing is this long build.
There's portions of the song where I'm singing the vocals twice to make it have this sort of Elliott Smith sound.
This is footage that I shot years ago, a slice of our personal and shared history, filmed at a time when our lives were so much easier. I hate nostalgia, really, so when I say our lives were easier, I mean it genuinely. This was before the accident, after all. This was before the coma and the 5 pints of blood loss. Let me tell you about my girlfriend Alex. She and Dan and I all worked at the same place, so it's all connected. I still remember the first time I saw her walking through the warehouse, all red hair and pencil skirt. I had a crush on her immediately, an unrequited crush until several years later she decided she wanted to kiss me, and then did so, and I swear to you, I felt like I was on the moon.
There are just little things that I tried to do in each section just to like slightly differentiate from the previous section, just like a little hi-hat thing, which is totally uninteresting drummer speak, but...
Dan came to visit us in the hospital once. I remember as soon as he walked into ICU room 7 and saw Alex in a coma, tubes on her throat, IVs everywhere, blood-soaked hair. The first thing he said to me was, that's just a little road rash. I know he didn't mean it. After all, I had just given him a comprehensive list of her injuries a few minutes earlier. 2 broken femurs, a broken finger, orbital fractures, and this was all before we found out her carotid arteries were busted up and causing her to have dozens of strokes before she woke up and didn't know what city she was in or who the president was or how many fingers we were holding up.
The typical Wiretree song is a 3-minute pop song, right? And this is like a nice little pop rock ditty, but then it ends with like almost this jam session at the end.
This was before we knew about the brain injury. This was before the months of rehab.
I like this line.
This was before we met Jason and Amber, the paramedics who saved her life. They told us that Alex's heart had momentarily stopped during the rescue.
About 90 seconds.
Are you
Because all the blood did go in your legs.
with the defibrillator thingy?
No, they
No.
just did compression.
Just compressions, yeah.
Okay.
They didn't have to shock you.
Hypovolemic, so they corrected it with the blood products.
That's cool. It's like Buffy.
Dan knew this was no small thing.
It was just hard to watch her because she wasn't really talking, but she was mumbling. And the thing that I remember the most is that that's probably the worst suffering I've ever seen anybody go through. And when we got in the back of that ambulance, there wasn't a dry eye in there.
I mean, I saw her shattered scooter on the side of the road. I had driven by the scene of the accident, totally coincidentally, mind you, and I had seen the wreckage with my own eyes.
We had stopped there to talk with the detectives from the traffic investigators, and he pulled up and said, "That's my girlfriend's scooter." And I mean, yeah, we were on the way back from the hospital, and just I remember feeling my heart sink down into my stomach.
And the officers, it was good that we went because the officers on the scene thought that you actually passed.
Oh.
They didn't think that she would have made it through that.
This wasn't a movie, and if I'm shaping it into one now, it's because I have to make that horrible pit of despair in my stomach mean something. I mean, isn't that what every artist is doing?
Yeah, this guitar part too here is really, I think he worked on it a lot. I mean, you could tell. You can feel it.
Yeah, I remember when my dad first heard it, and he called me, he was crying because he knew exactly, like, that was definitely me playing. He knew that was his son.
I know he knew that it was so much more than just a little road rash, but I'll be damned if I didn't feel a sudden surge of certainty, if I didn't believe, if only for a brief moment, that this really wasn't a big deal after all, that everything would be okay. There's an alternate universe where I never met Daniel Blanchard, and in it I am robbed of that moment. It's a bleak place.
By far one of the most challenging calls that I've ever run in EMS. And then, like I said earlier, just seeing her standing here is just one of those rare rewards that we get in this job.
In this community, first and foremost, we're all friends, you know. It's moments like that where you really see that, I think, you know, nobody's out to get something out of you. It's just, you know, at the root of all of it, we're just, all of us are friends, and that's the most important thing.
We attempted a little what they call an external version, which is where the doctor tries to physically manipulate the boy into position. Yeah, from the outside. And that didn't work. He wasn't budging, so. But I have about 3 weeks until I'm officially due, So, you know, he's got a little time yet still to move.
Yeah.
He's just kind of stuck there, I guess. He just doesn't want to go anywhere. So it's all good.
There are bad hospital visits. And then there are ones like this.
How's my buddy? Being honest, can you hear me?
He was 6 pounds, 11 ounces, and he was
19 inches long.
19 inches long, and a week early. We had to do the C-section because he was breached. He was trying to come out butt first. Pretty strong, like instant love, you know, like just.
Yeah, it's strange. I didn't know what to expect the whole time. You know, he was in the womb for the past 9 months, and then yesterday he came out, and then I heard her cry, and it was like a weird instinct, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. And
He's just drunk on mama's milk, I guess.
oh, there's a little yawn.
Alex wanted to paint the walls. I filmed a time-lapse of the process. One day when I got home from the hospital, this must have been in the first week or so, I decided to look at it. I told myself I'd only look at one frame, and I did, at least at first. There she was, unbroken, unharmed. I wanted to go back there more than anything else. I wanted to be there with her again, with our dog and our cats and her in her purple dress. There's an alternate universe where Alex didn't live through her accident, where she didn't make a miraculous recovery and relearn to walk. There's an alternate universe where the odds that were stacked against her stayed against her. I would be alone again, and it would be like slipping back into an old addiction, filled with the warmth and familiar comfort that accompanies every relapse. And I would walk the earth alone. I would sell everything, let my hair grow, never shave again. I'd walk across from one end of the continent to the other, and since this is an imaginary world, I would be immortal, and I would outlive everybody, because if I'm going to be alone, then I'm going to be alone. I would see civilizations collapse and rebuild and collapse and rebuild, and I would see our species outgrow this planet. I would see humanity flee to the stars, colonize the moon, and soon Earth would be totally abandoned. I'd be the last man on the planet. Over centuries, I would forget how to speak, then I'd forget my name, and then with enough millennia under my belt, I'd forget Alex's name. At night, I would look up at the moon with its face shining with the iridescent lights of people. Sometimes I would imagine that I could hear their voices and laughter floating down through the night sky. And then, when the supervolcanoes finally let loose their bounty, they would fill the sky with ash and blot out the sun. I would grow sick for the first time in 1,000 years. I would cough blood. My eyes would be permanently slick with tears and pus. I'd find a cave somewhere, and I'd start to remember the sound of voices, the sound of cities filled with cars and busyness, and I would finally feel the loss of it all. It is then that I see you. I don't know if I'm departing or arriving at sanity, but there you are in front of me in your purple dress. You step towards me. You stumble. You were always clumsy after all. I remember that, even if I don't remember your name. But there you are, unbroken, unharmed, and I want more than anything to be with you again. Then you lean down towards me, and you see, as you have always seen, what I need to survive. You look at my gray, ash-covered hair, at my lean muscles toned over thousands of years of labor. You take my hand, and I swear I can really feel it. And you whisper into my ear, and I swear I can feel your breath on the fine hairs on my cheek. Get up to the moon, you say. I felt like I was already there.
Hardly Sound is brought to you by Sabrina Q. Mikan, dedicated to highlighting the life stories of musicians and artists who enrich the culture of Austin, Texas. Real Ale Brewing Company. Real Ale incorporates 100% malted grain, domestic and imported hops, and crystal clear water to create unique recipes. Find Real Ale all over Texas at your favorite bars, restaurants, and stores. Real Ale Brewing Company. Handcrafted ales from the Texas Hill Country. Kong Screen Printing. Kong Screen Printing specializes in high-quality art design, screen-printed apparel, and paper prints for bands, businesses, nonprofit organizations, schools, and sports leagues. Kong Screen Printing. Information at kongscreenprinting.com. A generous donation from Brad and Maggie Markham. And the Hardly Sound Alliance.